I liked your last Japan video. Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk about Japan more. A lot of people seem to be super interested in that, so we'll kind of see what happens there. I get asked about Japan a lot, so we'll react to more, but let's go with the first one.
Japan is being forced to censor manga and anime?
So it's what a pause. What I'll say is it's really weird because if he's gonna get into what I think he's gonna get into, the UN, the United Nations doesn't like that Japan is doing this. And it is really interesting because I've been saying this for a while now. Actually, on stream yesterday, I was having a conversation with chat. It was that I kind of feel that pretty much sex is being used as a ploy and a excuse for bad anime. And I'm actually gonna have a hot take here, and a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for it, but I think Uzaki-chan is probably a great example. Like, the guy doesn't get the girl. I watched the first 3 episodes and absolutely hated it, and then I skipped to the last episode to see if he gets the girl, and he doesn't. And pretty much it's just everybody, you know, freaking out about her titties. They're just, is that titties? And it's really annoying. And I'm just noticing this pattern of, we're gonna throw titties in your face and you're gonna watch it and the anime is complete trash. Another hot take is with Spy Family, like when I watched it and everybody freaks out about like but she's not even in a lot of the episodes. She's only in like 4 episodes, not even. Her FaceTime is very, very small. And I'm sitting here like, you guys are freaking out about someone that barely shows their face on screen? What are you talking about? So it's really weird because who was it? Was it Sea-Dog? I think Sea-Dog said, it probably wasn't him, but I did hear maybe we're just not the audience, right? Because we're not thinking, I'm 30. I'm not thinking about sex every 5 seconds. I don't have time for that. So when I'm getting titties thrown in my face, it's like, yeah, these are fucking amazing. Do you see this? Do you see these titties? But it's like, well, what's the point of them? Are you just putting these in my face just to keep my attention here? And if that's the thing, it's like, I don't want to watch this anime because I'm just wasting, like, if I wanted to waste my time staring at titties, I'll just go watch a hentai, dog. I'm just being real. But for me, I'm more of a gamer than I am an anime person now, because again, it's very, very obvious they're using as a excuse to make very bad anime, and it's something that's just been really annoying. Like, every character needs to have big titties now, or they're like dumb and they have like pink hair, and it's just, you can see a stereotype the second a character comes on the screen. Right? Yeah. If they have orange or red hair, they're probably always fucking angry. If they have big titties and like pink hair, they're probably dumb to some degree, right? Yeah. It's just sad, but you know, what are you gonna do? And so that's why I just choose not to participate, or at the very least, like, I have some friends who I trust their like anime recommendations, and I'll only watch something if they tell me to. If they are like, nah, it's trash, I tend to not watch it.
Of anime and manga, what is a word worse than death? They'd give you a quick and simple answer: censorship. Adult content is a huge...
You want to know what's so funny? So here's a fun fact. So I was in a Discord call with a buddy of mine, Miles, and what we were doing, I think we watched, genuinely, we were in a call for like 4 hours, and we were watching, you guys know those YouTube videos of people who just walk through Japan? Like, you know, they'll just get their camera and literally just start walking. So one of them was in Akiba or Akihabara, and it's really funny because he walked past this one spot and it was just hentai. Like, the whole building was just hentai, and on the side it had like girls with like tentacles getting, you know, touched, and it was just really wild because I was like, it's just like out in the open in Japan. It's like just there. It's like, it's just there. And I was so surprised because I was like, when I went to Japan, because I've been there a couple times, I've never seen it out in the open like that. Usually it's like a floor that you have to go to and show ID and all this other stuff. But I don't know. Madoka Magica. Yo, bro, Madoka was wild too. Madoka, this was a crazy anime.
Drawn or animated media like
Yeah.
anime and manga.
Yeah.
Whether it comes in the form of extreme violence.
I need to finish JJK. By the way, guys, I will finish it. I've actually been asked in my Discord a couple times if I finished it. I got through majority of it.
mild and comedic displays of nudity or full-blown R-rated scenery,
Yeah.
adult content is something that's naturally ingrained into Japanese media.
I don't know. Well, kind of. What do you mean? Ponyo isn't adult at all. It's really funny because even with something like Fooly Cooly, if you look at it on the surface level and don't think about it, Fooly Cooly can seem pretty what's the word? Not innocent, but like pretty normal. But once you start really looking into Fooly Cooly, there's a lot of Fooly Cooly is a coming of age story basically, but it's once you look past everything and you take a step back and you actually start thinking about it, Fooly Cooly is also very sexualized too, a little bit, especially with Haru Hara Haruko. Once you really look through it.
But unfortunately, not every country which anime and manga are distributed to supports these spicy additions. And
I would even argue Naruto isn't very sexualized.
The Mitsuri bat scene in
Chinese versus Japanese. Yeah, I think the countries have every right to censor it if they want to. Obviously, I'm gonna want to see her with no towel on because she got big ass titties. But I think if the country is like, yo, put a fucking towel on her. I mean, if you want it to be aired here and make more money and all that other stuff, yeah, do what we say. It's our country. Like you're coming into my house, you're gonna follow my rules. I don't see a problem with this. I'm sorry, I don't. I do think the Western annoying woke mind virus is annoying, and I'm also starting to see like game developers in Japan be like, yo, I don't know, did you guys see the Dragon Quest dude where he was like, we don't know why the fuck they want us to censor like the genders, because it's always been a guy, and then it's like the girl version is, it's so weird. They wanted to add just some small stuff, and the guy who created it was just like, what the fuck is this? Like this is like not even. So it is, I do think there's a line, but it's still, you know, within the country's right, if no matter how small, sadly, right? Because it's their country. It's their country. It is. If you're going to do something somebody else's country, the country that you're trying to get into has 100% right to just be like, yo, follow our rules. Now, obviously, I don't know if America got it's America. I'm assuming we got the one on the right where her titties are just out, but I don't know. Again, I only saw season 1, so I don't know about this.
Fans didn't pay much mind to it and instead found some of these cases.
They put fucking like shorts and like pajamas and a towel. Oh my god, dude.
Such as when the Malaysians
that is kind of funny.
Which were way. During the final days of October, the United Nations pitched the idea.
On October 29th, the Committee of Elimination of Discrimination Against Women published its concluding observations on Japan's 9th periodic report. This was prepared following a face-to-face review of the 9th report on the implementation of Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Okay, in this final opinion, concerns were expressed that video games, manga, and other animated products may incite violence against women and girls based on gender and sexual orientation. Or we can do this too. If you think that anime is real life, you probably should start going outside and probably get a therapist. If you think poor real life, you should probably, you know, go outside. I think there's too many people who have inexperience with, and they use, you know, all of these outlets, right? Video games, manga, and other animated products as their outlet. And I mean, the only thing I can say is, well, if they're not getting it in real life, where the fuck else are they gonna get it, right? That's where dolls and hentai and all, and video games and all these other things come into play. So it is a little difficult. It is. I'm firmly in the ballpark of, if nobody's talking to you and telling you like, dog, this is not how it is in real life. If I don't know, I've never heard someone do violence against women and be like, oh yeah, bro, that was in Bible Black. Yeah, I watched Bible Black, and so I just wanted to imitate that. It's like, these are some really small fringe, like, weirdos that, like, you know, sit in Discord and stuff like that. I don't even think 14 and 15-year-olds are sitting here, you know, doing violence against women and girls based on gender or sexual orientation because they saw it in a or they were reading like fucking a Junji Ito and a girl got her head blown off or something stupid. Nobody's doing that, dude. I don't think people are doing this.
These forms of media were promoting gender stereotypes and violence towards women and children. Many fans voiced their...
Isn't I feel like I've seen her name before. The war on censorship and protecting creative freedom is only beginning. Yeah. Then we won't have like Junji Ito. We wouldn't have stuff like Dead. What is it? Alice Wonder. What is that Japanese one that's like a game? Alice Wonderland or Alice in Borderland or something like that. I forgot what it's called. The UN is asserting anime, manga, fiction is all harmful based on the basis of gender stereotypes. Not only does it deny agency to those who wish to create it, it denies agency to women to create the very same stories they would dare find problematic. You want to know what's so fucking funny about this? So you guys know Bayonetta. A lot of people love Bayonetta because she's extra, she's hot, she's really tall, and she's a badass, but she's also super funny. And when Bayonetta came out, they were doing the same thing, right? They were like, oh, she's way too sexualized, we don't like it, and all this other shit. And it turns out a woman created Bayonetta. Or let me be more specific. The girl who drew Bayonetta, the original designer, is a woman. It was a girl that did it. Right? Stellar Blade. Oh, that body type is unrealistic. Hey, yo, who's gonna tell him? Yo, chat, who's gonna tell him, dog? Oh, man. The UN is exporting draconian beliefs to Japan and demanding the stifling of creativity. This is a sidebar, and this is something that I've talked about before as well, and I'm going to say it here too. It's really interesting because there's actually a group of people. I'm not saying they're like, you know, millionaires or anything crazy, but like fans who just say, Japan, make video games for you because that's why we like them. Does that make sense? It's like, make games for Japan, and they so happen to get popular here in the States. I think that's something that is so true. You need to allow them to make the games for themselves, because that's pretty much how anime blew up. Anime blew up because they were animating different things and they were telling stories through the lens of Japan and their own mythology and everything, right? And then it blew up here because we wanted to see a different side of animation and storytelling. When you start imposing your own, you stifle that creativity, which is what she's saying, right? That creativity goes away. So what, should we get rid of Junji Ito just because you don't like the type of gore that he does, right? And that's where the problem starts coming in. It's like, come on, dude. You're being annoying. And it's really interesting because the best way to say this is I can see Japan just going into a hole in the corner back there. You know what I mean? Because it's all the way. I can see Japan going into a hole and just minding its own business, because that's technically what Japan did, right? For hundreds of years, Japan was just a little island, and they minded their own damn business, and they didn't interact with fucking anyone. The only reason why they started interacting with people is because the British, and they enabled trading. You see what I mean? So like, I would argue like in Japan's probably just going to sit there and laugh and be like, okay, we're just not going to make any, we're just going to keep it here in Japan. And it's going to be like the 90s all over again, where maybe watching anime is going to be fucking difficult. Right? Where you need VHS tapes and stuff like that. Japan has no problem going back to the hole that they were in, and again, it's not like a bad hole. I'm just saying, like, they have no problem just becoming introverts, right? I mean, they technically already are. Why do you think one of the number one things people say when they go to Japan is, you know, Japan is xenophobic because they don't like outsiders? Yeah, it's a lot. It's wild, man. It's pretty crazy. I wasn't done reading. No such proof of these claims exist. And that's what I was saying too. Like, I don't believe that there's a fucking 17-year-old being like, I saw Bible Black and they were in the bathroom, so I walked in the girls. Like, it's just what are we doing? It's like they're making it up because they don't like it, right? And it's like, and if you have the proof, you probably should share with the class. You see what I mean? Just as video games never increase violence in anyone. Yeah. If your kid plays GTA 5 and they RP all the time and they're like killing cops and stuff, it means that they're going to become a gang member. Like, don't be fucking stupid. Like, these are parents that probably, you know, just leave their kid on the game all day. Yeah. Make no mistake. The people in power weaponize compassion to get there and manipulated mentally weak individuals to spread their messaging. The people in power want abuse control. Why use a word like bad when good exists?
Western credit card companies such as Visa and MasterCard are now dissociating themselves from anime and manga sites in an attempt.
And as someone who owns guns too, they do the same thing. I think it was Visa, MasterCard. No, I think it was Discover. They completely blocked anything gun related. So you can't buy ammo, you can't buy guns from certain areas, and stuff like that. And this is where the financial system comes into play, because they can force a industry to pretty much tank by doing stuff like this, right? So if you completely block out stuff regarding anime through Visa and MasterCard, well, think about it. You're not buying those products, so that company's not getting that money, effectively removing them from the US marketplace overall, right? They'll just probably end up going back to Japan. But here's the problem. I keep saying this because I kept saying it earlier. Japan has no problem going back to its little hole it created and just sitting there, because they've done it for hundreds of years. Like, this is nothing new to them anyway. So that's why it's really weird. But that doesn't mean, even if they're okay with it, that doesn't mean that it should happen, right? So doing stuff like this, you're effectively removing them from the marketplace because just because. And this is what happens when everyone is in bed with each other, right? And I'm assuming they're in bed with each other because it's like, I'm guessing maybe someone in government forced the bank's hand to do it or something like that. I don't know.
Ken Akamatsu, the creator of Love Hina, was unfortunately
Hold on, Love Hina. That sounds from Love Hina. Did I see this? No, I did. Wait, I remember the characters. You know what I'm thinking of? Hold on, I'll bring it down. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking of? Yeah, I remember him because he has a lot of memes. He has a lot of memes on about him. You know what I'm thinking of? But to be fair, I'm assuming these girls are in high school. Like, come on. You come on, dude. You have to, bro. There's no shot. There's absolutely it is a little bit on the what the fuck am I looking at side. But when he said Love Hina, you know what I thought of? I thought it was this. I don't know why I thought it was Toloveru. Listen, don't talk. Just shut up.
As his manga site, Manga Z, was forced to shut down due to these credit card companies pulling away.
Yeah, see? You are effectively taking them away. You're taking them out of the American marketplace.
He said, had decided to cease operations on November 26th. Although I have already stepped down.
I'm guessing he means in America only. Maybe more. Yeah, chat. Yeah. I'm guessing he means America only.
I'm writing this announcement on behalf. On top of that, even payments for past months were withheld, so we were unable to cover server costs.
So people, oh crap, dude. So they had their premiums, but they just didn't go through. They probably didn't even know.
Lack of incoming premium member fees, freedom of expression. We continue to refer to these kinds of special cases in discussions about protecting free expression. Recently, stricter conditions and penalties have emerged from payment service providers.
It's really weird because, as I just showed you with, as I just showed with Love Hina, right? Like, I'm assuming, again, I've never seen this. I'm assuming these are like high school girls. And it's one of those things where it's like, is this freedom of expression or is it something else? I'm gonna let you guys decide that. But it also goes to what I said earlier, right? Is that people like me aren't the audience, right? Because what if a 14-year-old reads this? Well, then this is like in spec. This is in spec. But if I read it, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is this? Right? So that's why I say it's kind of weird, because it's like, I look at this and I'm like, bro, no, this ain't it, dog. This ain't it, dog. Come on, man. Now, obviously, there's way worse than this. There's like 10 times worse examples, but I think the overall thing I'm saying is quite obvious, which is like the sexualization of underage. Like I'm looking at my other monitor scrolling, and it's way more tame than a lot of others. Yeah, it is, but overall it still begs the question. So it's one of those things where I sit here and I'm like, I think the UN is under the impression that like, you know, 40-year-old, 27-year-old men are like reading this and then going out doing crazy stuff, which I don't believe. But if you look at it, if it makes a lot more sense if you look at it through the lens of like, oh, they're like 15-year-olds reading this, then you can take a step back and go, oh wait, if you were 15, again, you're in spec, right? Because you're also in like high school or some shit like that.
Providers, posing a growing threat to not only ebooks but to the Japanese content.
Yeah, but you can force them out of an industry.
More with chose to step away from them.
Yeah.
This is a very terrible situation.
Yeah, it is.
Anime fans are absolutely furious about this incident. A fan said, "Bad take from US-based card companies, trying to force an entire country to censor a major part of their cultural identity."
Yeah, anime is a soft power for Japan, dude. Like, I would be mad too if if you tried to get rid of that or censor it or something. What's a soft power? So a soft power is something that a country has over other people, over other thing, a persuasive approach to international relations. So like, we know Japan because of XYZ, typically involving use of economic or cultural influence, right? So for Japan, anime is a soft power. 100% it's a soft power. Anime and video games. I think Japan's major power would be like fishing and stuff like that, but their soft power is definitely anime and video games.
We'll just force Japan to see.
Again, China, I don't know if we should be using China as like I'm just gonna say, I don't think we should be using China as like an example. There's a lot of things that don't. They even, if I'm not mistaken, they even changed the league and like other crazy stuff too. So I don't know if China is a great example. Changing a onigiri to a sandwich. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is a little weird because like it's just a rice ball, maybe with something in the middle. But it's just, why? I don't. This is just a weird one.
Where only the versions is for these products to be censored right at the source, meaning even the original versions of anime and manga being distributed in Japan would be
never doing that. Don't do it. Japan, don't do it. Leave it alone.
Heavily censored. The privilege for creators, but
oh, was that Danmachi? It's actually, yeah, it is. It's really funny because I'm going to a convention. I'm actually going to meet the voice actors of them. By the way, in Danmachi, Lily, and then these two are my favorite characters.
Privilege for creators have done this before with platforms.
Oh yeah, they tried to with Pixiv, they were saying that some of the art that was being made was like inappropriate and all this other crap. And so they were like, oh yeah, we're going to take out they're going to force people to like use their real names. Was that Pixiv or was that what's the name of I forgot what the name of the other, I'm pretty sure it was Pixiv. I could be wrong, but I remember one of them went through some BS as well.
Removing them by claiming that
tell me why I thought that said horny star. To think that Shimoneta would have predicted the future, what a world we live. I don't know what that is.
Similar to some fans are going as far as saying that Japan should stop distributing anime and manga to the West entirely, since they're the ones.
You see, I'm gonna keep saying it. Japan has no problem going into its own hole. It's been in its own hole for. I'm just gonna keep saying it, and I am not sorry. I think if it comes to that, we're just gonna go back to the 90s, where getting anime is going to be so fucking hard. And you gotta probably like use a VPN or something in order to watch anime, and it's not going to be subtitled. So good fucking luck. It's going to be strictly in Japanese only as well. So good fucking luck. I mean, I'm fine because I speak the language, but it's like when you take a step back, dog. Listen, something tells me because Japan has anime as a soft power, they probably would be like, we're not censoring shit. We're just not going to export it. So fuck you guys. That's what I see. I'm just being honest. That's what I see them doing. I see them just being like, we're not exporting. Okay, bye. because even in Japan, within its own country, they make so much money from anime. Like, it would be stupid to just not keep it going. So I don't know. They want to censor it at the source too.
Japan platforms that would eventually crush the ones currently monopolizing the business. Some others.
It's really funny whenever something happens, everyone's just like, Elon. Everybody's like, Elon, you can fix the problem, because Elon has PayPal.
Or with America, or even orchestrating a cyber attack against these card companies.
Oh no, dude.
I want the entire Western entertainment industry gone.
Yo, Wizard Beard, everybody wants it gone. It is annoying. It is, and it's just, it's so tiresome, bro. It's so tiresome. So let's be honest. I think majority of people agree with this.
From the world were the words of a fan who needs to be convinced that the Western entertainment industry is no sand.
You're talking about the place that has Hollyweird and people like Dan Schneider, right? and the Bill Cosby stuff. Like, we got some skeletons in our closet too, right? You see what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, bruh, we as the Western world, we shouldn't be fucking talking and trying to censor Japan as well.
Using pirate sites for consuming anime and manga.
People have been pirating since the dawn of time. Maybe I remind you of like a LimeWire. Like, I was a huge LimeWire user. Like, come on, man, pirating is nothing old.
Instead of paying through these companies, Vinland Saga is ending soon?
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I've never seen it. I think so just to make this quick, I think Japan possibly will not censor anything and go back in their hole and just monetize it within their own borders. And we're going back to the Stone Ages of the 1990s, where getting anime was one of the most difficult things ever, despite the fact everybody absolutely loved it. That's just my 2 cents. Or this gets thrown out the window completely because they're probably just not going to conform, because Japan's kind of like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my opinion.